I was living downtown in a posh building that had a good restaurant next door. The restaurant and the apartment building opened at the same time, so it became where everyone in the building went. I worked across the street, so it was also where my firm would have client meetings and happy hours. I went in alone one night near closing time, which I had done many times in the past, and sat at the bar. I had been out that evening to happy hour, but that had been several hours before, and I had been home since then. I ordered a steak dinner and a glass of wine. I was familiar with the bartender because of happy hours, and one specific date where the guy I was meeting recognized the bartender's accent as Serbian. They had some geopolitical banter, but overall the bartender seemed like an okay guy at the time. Mid-20s, average, nondescript. On this night, I'm sure we had some small talk while he worked, but I don't think I actually engaged all that much with him. After all, I didn't even know his name. Halfway through my meal, I got ridiculously tired. Like, barely keep your eyes open tired. I asked for a box for my meal. He took a while getting it, but when he presented it, he told me that he was walking me home. I said no thanks, but he insisted 3 more times, which at that point I probably could have used the help walking, but was fully annoyed on being assisted home. Not only was I clear that he was not welcome to do that, I actually had a habit of never letting a guy walk me to my door. I just don't like randoms knowing where I live. There was no way this was going to happen, no matter what. I remember I got loud with my final "No!" and took a few more sips of wine as I stood up to leave. I mean, I paid $20 for that glass, and I was not going to waste it. He seemed a little taken back. He snatched up my glass and said that he was coming with me, so I remember that I simply left before he could do or say anything else. Well, I made it next door to my apartment, and as I'm going in the elevator, I could hardly walk. I felt beyond drunk, even though I had barely finished half my glass. When I made it to the 8th floor, I could barely stand. I literally crawled from the elevator down my very long hallway, around the corner, and almost to my door. When I got within a feet from my door, my legs had completely stopped working. I could barely climb up the door to insert the key. Fortunately, I somehow managed and dragged myself over the threshold. I woke up the next day, slumped against my door. I had wet myself. I have never lost control of my body, no matter how drunk I've gotten, and I definitely have never slept on the floor. It was crazy. It was surreal. I had a hangover from hell, and I was trying to figure out all day what had happened. I told myself that since I had been at happy hour earlier, maybe I was drunk and just didn't know it. However, I didn't remember feeling drunk when I was there, and I hadn't really eaten anything until the steak and potatoes arrived. I kept searching for a reason. It was a couple of days before I remembered how overly familiar the bartender had been in trying to take me home. It chilled me what could have happened if that guy had walked me home. I had no proof that he had done anything, but somehow I just knew. I felt stupid that I had gone out that night when I could have eaten at home. I should have eaten at home. And I felt stupid for not watching him more closely, even though I had been alone at a bar. I felt stupid for going to the bar at all. I could have easily eaten at a table, but I just couldn't be sure enough of anything to report it. I just kinda hid for weeks, refusing to walk by the window in front of the bar side of the restaurant, and generally avoiding that corner altogether. It was at least 2 months before I could go back in that restaurant, and even then, it was only for work. I was relieved when I didn't see him at the bar, but I had to ask, in case he was coming later or something. When I asked where he was, the person behind the bar said, "Oh, him. Yeah, he's gone. We had to let him go." I remember searching the bartender's face for a clue and picked up on some mild disgust, but I never got anything else out of him. First, I want to say 2,200 subscribers. 2,200. That is insane. I want to thank all of you. I cannot express how grateful I am to all of you. 2,000. I don't even know what to do. And I want to thank you for making this channel as big as it is now. Second, thank you all for the amazing comments and overwhelming amount of views for my last video. All the positive feedback and comments gave me the most elated smile, and I cannot describe how happy I am. However, there is one thing that I have to mention. That story is not my story. I wish I could write something like that. It is written by keniluck on the subreddit No Sleep. I was given permission a while back, and I thought, hey, why not make this amazing story into a fully animated video? Now, even though I really appreciate the comments about the story, I do not deserve the credit for it. If anything, please show some love to keniluck. I linked the story in my description box for that video, and I'll link it for this one too. Lastly, I want to let you know that you, yes, you are awesome. Thank you so much, and stay safe.